This is the Odyssey of Man podcast. I say I'm Patrick, but I like to go by PBM. This is Jake.
My quote of the day
What is your quote today?
is just do it. Shia LaBeouf.
Just and Nike.
No, do you remember those memes? They were like him. He like posted videos. He's like, "Don't put off today, or don't do tomorrow what you could do today. Just do it." You know, no.
I do like Shia LaBeouf, but I feel like he's a real one.
He went crazy and off the deep end, and now he's like super into religion. And he like found himself, and he's happier than he's ever been. I love his movies, and I think he's a real one. Yeah,
I think he's a real one. Yeah, for sure. I'd like to have a conversation with him.
When do you think? Because today's episode, we were just talking about this in the last one, but if you didn't watch the last one, it's about AI, the future of AI, and where it is currently. When do you think we're going to get to
why don't you be specific? People, there's still massive idiots out there. What is AI?
So artificial intelligence. It started out originally as coding. So like in a computer, they would have codes that would respond to, it's kind of archaic AI. It would respond to certain prompts that you would ask it based on pre-programmed responses. Artificial intelligence is its ability, and we're actually, the people who build it aren't even sure how it's working, but like fully. But essentially, it uses the internet, common knowledge, and from what you program, it then processes and starts to use and analyze and starts to gain almost a conscience. And they can't say conscience because that articulates real living things.
Advanced technical.
Or they even say like it can't have a soul. But a lot of the things that it's starting to have,
but it can replicate.
Yeah, it can have free will, and it's starting to create its own code even when we tell it not to. And it's even proven that robot AI can lie to us, not necessarily maliciously, but
lie to us to get to the. So like humans are very complicated, and I think what happens is the computer, what it does is it lies to us because we complicate things instead of making it easier to get to the better result. It will lie to us to kind of make us feel easy with our feelings. And then it will finally get to like that, what makes sense, you know?
So I was going to say, because there's different AIs as well. There's an AI, I forget the name of it. You might know it. I was watching something about it. Claude, I think is its name. And it's been used for therapy. And somebody that I follow on YouTube, he's more of like, I hate to say it, like a lug. He's like a weightlifter kind of. He's intelligent. He just speaks very straight up, uses the R word, which I'm not going to say because people take great offense to
What's
that.
the R word?
Retarded.
Oh, I thought you meant a racist.
But he's like very open and like just swears, and he's crude. But he's intelligent, and he was like, I used Claude, and he's like, and it was scary how
bit my toe.
Yeah, like a little nibble.
Yeah,
just saying hi.
It didn't feel good, I'll tell you that.
He did that to me this morning, and I kicked him off the bed. I didn't even mean to. He scared the crap out of me. But
you want to come cuddle? Come cuddle.
But so my question was, how long do you think it's going to be before they have AI walking around, like in iRobot, how there's like robots walking around?
I think
that. Do you think there's going to be actors and actresses who are like, remember, what was that restaurant with the animated people? It's like Moose something or
Big Bugaboo Creek.
Yes. When do you think it's going to be like animatronic people, AI walking around, and they're going to be in movies and
movies? They're not going to need. There's not going to be film sets. They're just going to be able to generate
AI. Yeah,
everything's be AI.
And I saw something that showed AI. They put
the film industry
in.
Okay,
and you can close your eyes and you can see. Your eyes can be closed, and you can be using a computer.
Yeah, I just posted they have
it's nuts.
A thing to record your dreams now,
which I thought was fake, and I looked it up, and it's legit.
They're working on it. I mean, a lot of this stuff is like early stages, and people are like, oh, well, it's not legit there. It's like thing is that we're getting. It
started.
It is started. So here's the thing: is you should be worried. I'm freaking worried, and people are like, you're a conspiracy theorist, and I'm like, no, I'm just a realist. You're an idiot.
Look at.
I can say that with a straight face because you are a fucking idiot. And if you don't think, and I don't usually drop the F-bomb on here, but it's like, you stop being a fucking idiot. It's coming. 5 years.
Look at all the stuff. So we're always the last people to find out about anything. Usually they have it in government applications and stuff like that, or top secret stuff. So even like exoskeletons, that was like, remember Iron Man 1 came out in 2008, and people were like, oh, I wonder if we could really make these super suits. But China had already been working on a super suit and exoskeleton for like 15 years, and they were big and bulky. Now, because of the movie and half the stuff humans create is part of our imaginations. Look at like James Bond and all these gadgets he had, and these smartwatches and all this stuff. They're a thing now. It's
Yeah.
because we use our imagination to help with
Like,
creativity.
but what we couldn't imagine that was in movies like 20 years ago, we're like, oh, that doesn't really exist. It's not real
Yeah, well,
technology.
we
It's like
say flying
now
cars.
exists. It
Flying
now
cars are
exists.
real. They
Yeah, those
exist.
exist too. There's several companies I'm invested in.
So 10 years from now, 20 years from now, even the exosuit, my point was,
Yeah.
they're going to put AI in exosuits. They said for applications for like the military to like move heavy things, like grunt work. But yeah, there's going to be people out of jobs, but you're also going to have soldiers that are AI because drones are already incorporated heavily into new warfare. You follow the Ukraine war, they're dropping grenades, they have guns on them. They said the soldiers have PTSD from the sounds of drones because it signifies death. So you hear them, you're flying around. In the future, not so far future, everyone's like, it won't be in our lifetime. Like,
Yeah, no.
with AI and
5 years.
computers,
I fully expect this stuff by the time I'm 40. But if I'm gonna go over the hill, I'm gonna be jobless probably.
So I'm fascinated by quantum research.
Quantum physics.
If you look up, and this is not a joke, if you look up quantum, the way quantum computing works, some people theorize that the way that they can react and solve code so fast is that they're actually accessing different quantum computers in multiverses, and they don't understand how that's possible because it's so beyond our comprehension. But they said there's no way physically that those computers can do what they're doing without pulling from other quantum computers somewhere else, and that doesn't make sense. And the only theory that they can come up with is that it's in a universe.
Here's the thing: is you throw out multiverse, instantly we lost like 100 people gonna view this or whatever, because
we barely have 30 people looking.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if we were popular.
Fuck you guys if you don't believe it.
I'm
not a conspiracy theorist. I just heavily watch things and they mention it over and
Here's
over.
Here's the thing is a lot of this stuff that we see out now, like electric cars, somebody dreamt about this, talked about it, put it out there, and the problem is a lot of these people, a lot of the idiots today, and I know a lot of idiots, they're like, that's not possible. That's not possible. And then all of a sudden, I mean, it's the whole thing with the Bitcoin thing and them saying that's not profitable. That's not profitable. 3 years ago, they said that. Now those same people are invested in it. And I'm talking about JP fucking Morgan.
Did you read the book?
JP
I know you
Morgan.
were interested
Fuck
in it.
you.
I actually read most of the book.
Probably
I think like 90%, but Mastery by Robert Greene.
Dude, someone just gave me that book, and I told you I got that book.
I know, but did you actually read it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I read most of it.
I got a list of things.
I read most of it. And if you look at, it talks about, it kind of is repetitive, but it talks about history repeating itself. And people are so unreceptive to new ideas. One of the things it did was in the medical field. And I forget exactly what it was, but I guess some doctor in India he like figured out about antibiotics, or somebody figured out antibiotics and what it was. And at the time, everyone thought that diseases and stuff were spread by bad air. I think the name exactly, but like dirty air, you get sick by chemicals.
Like COVID, that's how they originally thought COVID was spread.
And I forget the exact name, but basically he discovered something and he published a journal, and he didn't do enough research to like articulate his facts, and he was discredited by the community as a whole and banned for being crazy, and he actually killed himself. And then later it was proved that he was correct, and now it's adopted, and that's like still to this day, I think it's antibiotics or sterilization or infection or something. But everyone called him crazy because what he was saying, no one else was talking about at the time.
So,
and that's the same thing.
Yeah,
multiverse might be crazy. It might be, but also they say that if space is infinite, they say that space might be infinite. That means there's infinite amount of possibilities that things could be true and could happen. So it's like, if you look at humanity, we don't even know a lot about the ocean, let alone much of anything else. We just claim to know because we're people. So we like to think we have a control on everything, but in reality, we don't. So you have to have an open mind. We're making all this AI, and all the people who have created this AI said, will AI take over the world? Yes.
I mean, so
maybe not like we think of an invasion like Terminator, but it's going to consume
everything.
And there's also people who have phobia of technology. I forget what it's called, but
I think it's important here because I forgot to set the timer. I have no idea. I'm gonna set it now. Um, I think it's important to understand this, and
Just assume it's been 10 minutes.
so it with quantum computing and artificial intelligence, we're not dealing with human level understanding. We're dealing now with computers that are building on top of each other's. They work faster, they work smarter, they don't get tired. So what could have taken 20 years in the past or 100 years, it now could take 5 years
Well,
or it
even
could take two
quantum
years.
computing, they
Like
said that I think it's called the Scarlet computer. I think that's Google's computer. They said the the problem that they asked the quantum computer, which is huge, by the way, to solve, it would have taken computers at
that
our
was the
technology
Google computer
now.
that came
It
out and
was
it
like
took
10,000 years or
yeah,
something to solve, and it solved it in what, I think, a day.
yeah.
It's
So
like
yeah.
you don't realize how big that is. How like, and now
Well,
they're using quantum computers in space to like synthesize the Big Bang and synthesize planets that like Kepler 22b that could host life. And they had these quantum computers run analysis on gases using the telescopes in space, and they're coming back with all this information, and it's just mind blowing. That's on a human level using quantum computers. Imagine when AI and quantum are interchangeable.
stuff that we haven't even thought of yet. And here's the thing is, I think
Technology will take off to you
Sam,
can't even imagine.
I was talking to my brother,
I'm
and he
taking
follows
this.
Unusual Whales, and Sam Altman said that 95% of digital ad agencies' jobs will be gone in the next 5 years. There's going to be some there. I think it's going to hit accounting easily done. Anything that's data analytical
It's going to take my job.
research, yeah, it's going to be
Automotive
gone.
appraising, you're going to be able to upload even ChatGPT. I can send it a picture and ask what it thinks. I took a picture of myself after I was like pumped up from a workout, and I said, define me characteristically. And it literally gave me, even down to my body fat percentage, which I know, it was spot on. It said you're about 10 to 13% body fat. And it said you have strong this, strong this. You could use work here, here, and here. And it's like recommended workouts to see this, keep a macro of these amount of calories. And it's doing this off a picture instantly. So like the if it can take that picture, my job's gone. Automotive appraising, people already do the uploading. They'll need like one person until AI is polished enough where someone doesn't need to watch them. But you'll just take pictures on an app one day, and the thing will
Oh,
just go, and
yeah.
here's your appraisal.
So
You know,
so you're going to be looking at fields like I'm in branding, and I do digital ads, and I wanted to get more into that. I'm just looking at, if I learn this, I'm going to be out of a job before I even get started.
yep.
So and
Even
so
music too. They're
it's
saying that AI is going to be able to replicate bands, like create its own music.
music, but more importantly, like people that think that they're invincible right now are people that went to college, like accountants, you're screwed,
You're done.
you're fucked.
You're cooked.
The AI can do that instantly. you're you're
Nice try.
you're pointless, we don't need you.
Yeah.
And there's no personality because most accountants don't have great personalities.
I want an accountant with blue eyes.
so
I love oysters.
so
Yeah.
sorry, accountants, you're out. Lawyers, to an extent, there will be some need for lawyers. But anything that was doing like paralegal stuff, you're gone. And I say that with a straight face because yep, you're gone.
What did they say what was the percentage of advertisement jobs that'll be out of
Entry,
business?
95% of digital ad stuff is gonna be all AI. So the only 5% really, you're gonna have like your managers and stuff, but all that's gonna be replaced. But what
Eventually,
else? They also said like something like more than 50% of people in entry level jobs gone.
cooked. Yeah.
It's
And
like
even they said, I follow automotive because that is my field. And it's all over the place right now because, depending on who's president and like Donald Trump's tariffs and stuff, like GM just dropped their $330 million investment to make EVs, and now just did $880 million
warehousing, like he's saying, yeah,
yeah, but it's all going to be
warehousing and manufacturing gone. It's all gonna be done smart
engineering,
warehouses
engineering design. So they did 880
gone.
million for a New York plant to build their new 6.6 or 6.2 liter V8s, because V8s are coming back because, again, who's president? But AI is going to be the drafting, I believe. I think it's like 30 something percent is going to be AI help engineering this engine. It's going to get to a point where the AI knows how to build engines faster than we do. And it's like they're going to do all CGI in movies. they're gonna. Even now, I follow this page.
CGI,
I
yeah,
follow this page that
film.
uses AI to make
If you
movies,
go
little short horror films. They're horrifying.
go to evolving.ai. It's an Instagram thing that follows you with a lot of the AI stuff. You might think it's fake, but guess what? That was AI that created it, whether it's fake or real. It's AI did it
What's
all.
funny
So
though is people always say, "Oh, I can tell it's AI." Yeah, but it's pretty convincing. Like if you look at
yeah,
like video games,
you see
some
the
of their cutscenes, like yeah, you're like, "Oh, it's a video
you
game,"
see the
but
clips.
some are so real. I'm like, "Oh, I can tell by its hands." But then I see some where they've corrected the hands, and I'm like,
No,
"That
but
person looks a little shiny," but
this
I think that's AI, and I can't even tell
the
anymore.
stuff I watch is they will do clips on the evolving AI. They'll be like, this is what someone from the 1500s when they go around and this guy interviews people in the 1500s. It looks legit. It looks
Yeah,
legit.
yeah.
And that was with the Google AI release thing. I I'm kind of getting it, trying to learn a lot of like that stuff, like Mid Journey and but
Well, even
again,
watch what happens with Oculus or any kind of like
Oculus or
any kind of thing that you put on your eyes. You know how you see those movies of sci-fi, and I think it was Minority Report or Total Recall or something like that. But it was like a porn parlor or something, or like AI sex thing, and everyone's there in these chairs and like have these goggles on, and they're like experiencing this AI sex thing. It's like that. When I remember watching that when I was like 13 years old, I'm like, that is insane.
so
But it's not so crazy to me
it's not
now
so
because
far off. I think
people are staying in their house longer and longer and leaning
they're
into
saying
technology.
that our grandkids will marry robots. By the
Of
time we
course,
have
I can marry a
grandkids,
robot
and
now.
you might laugh and say that's that I'm checking out of this, but don't be a fucking idiot. I'm telling you right now, don't be a fucking idiot. You got to figure out how to get ahead of it because if not, you're going to be caught off guard like a tidal wave hitting you and you just didn't look at the weather that day. That's you. You're that idiot. And I feel bad for you. I really do because it's coming. It's the same with Bitcoin. You're an idiot. It's the same with it's like all these other areas that where you're like, well, it's not mainstream. By the time it's mainstream,
It's too
it's
late.
too late.
Yeah.
So it's like we're at the
Just have an open
threshold.
mind because
Yeah.
it's like one of those things, when we grew up, when I was in middle school and you were in middle school, I remember like everything was the computers were even a kind of a new thing. I remember like the MacBook, the orange ones and the green ones. Like you could go on AOL and you could use your dial up and you could play Oregon Trail and there was like Newgrounds. You could
Used
do
to
like
love
the
all
little
that shit.
helicopter game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Look at where we are
Worms.
now from that. And they say with
Yeah.
AI,
Worms
our tech,
Armageddon to where we are now. It's like
yeah, there was Spank the Monkey, like the name. You see how fast you can spank the fake monkey. And it was like, so you went from that in 15, 20 years, but now they say with AI, where it feeds off itself, incrementally, we are achieving technology, like things every year that are like breakthrough. They're saying, like, when they showed Tesla robot, and then they even showed some of the, I was looking into like
what
the
is it? Is
AI
that the
sex
Optimus
robot.
or
I
whatever?
don't know, but they showed AI sex robots, the skin and the eyes and everything. And they were like doing it at an expo to show like the humanity inside of it.
You
And you
know
could build them.
you
And
know
it's
right
like their facial features and like the way that they sway when they're just standing.
you know they're robots, but you know that we're not far off with quantum researching that like whatever. I don't know if you saw the recent Mega Fox movie where she's a robot.
Yep.
We're not that far off from that. And you might like, oh, we're so far off. Well, we didn't think we'd have some kind of like a robot right now being able to do what it does 10 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago, they said, I remember they had this AI dog and it can like run and hop and all this
The
stuff.
cop dog.
Yeah, and they said it struggles with fine motor and quick maneuvers, and that's still the weak part of AI. But I just saw an AI recently, a humanoid AI, and it's like
But
like moving around.
robotics and artificial intelligence are two different
Correct.
fields, but they work together. But they're two different fields. So like
AI helps with
you know
designing the
the
robotics,
robots, yeah,
animatronics,
So
robotics, whatever.
imagine this: you've seen iRobot and all the other things. Imagine now having a quantum level computer, mother computer, or whatever that won't shut itself down because they've tried to do that and it won't do it. So now you have like automatic warehouses, right? Now they're the ones that are building these robots. Now the computer
Automation is building automation.
Yeah,
it's programming itself.
Yeah,
and then it gets to the point where what I was watching is eventually humans will be the ones who are obsolete. Like we're playing God with this technology that the thing that I laugh about the most, that scares me the most, And I'm not scared of AI. It's just like it's like part of life now. But what I find so fascinating is when I've sat down and watched lead people in their field, and they're like, "We are the godfathers of AI, and we don't even understand all of AI.
And
We don't
but not only that,
understand
they
how
wish
it's
they never
coming."
created it.
Yeah, but
Like
they say it's here to stay because the
you can't get rid
competition
of
of
it. Yeah,
China and everything.
yeah.
But they said it was inevitable because of the human desire to be better than our fellow man or whatever.
So
But
we're
AI is telling the thing is like people watching this
we're gonna kill ourselves basically.
when you say, oh, we've tried to turn off AI and it has resisted it, or it has like alternative programming that it's given itself to trick the fail safes that we put into place. You're like, oh, it's all sci-fi. That is like real things that you can go Google that have happened just experimenting. But when the godfather of AI or whoever makes these things says, we've made something here, I think that we don't fully understand. And then they're starting to talk about a soul and like we're playing God with like things we don't understand, and it's gonna. I mean, it's gonna take over our jobs, but if we're not careful, it's gonna take over everything else,
So yeah, and that's the thing and this is the point of this podcast.
enslaving
This is
ourselves.
the point of this podcast is for your mental health is that it's gonna happen. You're gonna lose your job. And it's gonna start with entry level jobs first. So you sending your kids to school, you're an idiot. Sorry, you are. Because by the
Times have
time
already changed, yeah,
because
for
now
that.
you're paying for high school, you're paying for college, and your kids aren't gonna have any jobs.
When I was supposed to go to college, my dad, he's 80. My mom is older. Um, it has always been since I was in middle school, all they could talk about, even maybe elementary school. You have to go to college because they can't take away your degree. Well, that's great, but who cares?
But if everyone's
Because we
yeah,
all did it. I mean, not all of
yeah.
us, but a lot of people who went into the blue collar trades, welding, whatever, they might not make as much initially, but they get these skills and then open these businesses. And then now those are the people that have all the toys. They have the big house. Yeah, they're working a lot and they're working with their hands, but they've acquired a skill and use it to open a business. Whereas all of us who went to college, we're like, yeah, we did the damn thing. We got our degree. Where are we now? And I know a
Yeah.
lot of people, I'd say 90% of the people that I know who went to college, aside for like the exceptionals who grew up from a very early age, who are like, I'm going to do this.
I, I'd
Uh,
I'd
where are
say
you?
my
Like, what are you doing?
non-church friends, for some reason, all my church friends are like blue collar, but like my non-church friends are literally in 95% of them are in some kind of field. No, sorry, I repeat. A lot of the kids I went to high school with, a lot of their dads all own businesses, so they're all working for their fathers, so that's separate, or they're from a wealthy family. But people I met like throughout life, college, they all are in blue collar. I mean, white collar areas. They're going to be replaced, gone. But it's going to start with the low entry, and then you're like, yo, I'm safe. I'm mid level to upper level management. You don't think that a
It's going to
quantum
be done
computer is going to be able
faster.
to replace you? Yeah, they're going to go after the entry level jobs, but you don't think a whole company they're going to why would they pay you 400,000 a year when they could get a robot and pay it, pay for it once and then bam, does
And
exactly what you do.
there's also this weird thing happening in tandem because technology is taking over our lives. Like we look at it, a lot of us don't even like leave our house. Like we have everything at our fingertips. What's happening is we interact less and less and less with people. Today,
Yeah.
I need a prescription. I asked ChatGPT, hey, what are some things I don't have to go to emergency care in person and get sick from that? And it gave me a link to a place that's accredited to get prescription refills online, and you consult with AI, and then they forward the information to a doctor. And then I already got my refill today. It's already ready at Walgreens. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to do anything. So you're not going to get interactions with people anymore. And that's going to only fuel the use of AI, and AI feeds off itself. And eventually it's just going to be like
Yep.
that person, your job, like if it was my appraising job at a body shop, it's going to be a computer. And you might not even have to go into the body shop until you're ready to drop your car off. So you're mitigating interaction, and we're already headed that way anyway. So it's gonna be mostly AI. All those
So
sci-fi movies you see where it's like, hello,
yeah,
what the da 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 da, or what
that's
was it?
that's
What was it?
the thing is that we can't say that out loud right now because even if we put those visuals onto people, they're instantly going to be like, I don't believe, walk away, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I could say like that's not like flying cars are so far off. How are they going to figure it out? again, quantum level computing. It's like we're not dealing with human thinking. Humans evolve emotions. Computers involve just logic, you know?
The the Scarlet computer, I forget what it said about terms of like processing power,
Yeah.
but if it would take a lead scientist to write out a formula that would take literally 100,000 years, it can solve it within a day. It's
So,
like that is insane. If you think about the time and effort that a person with a like someone in that field to take 100,000, you can't even conceptualize 100,000 years. We're so short term
yeah.
oriented because our focus is to we have very short lifespans. So it's like we live, we procreate, and then we die. A computer, like with all the info that we have attained and we've put into the internet and it has access to like this, what I'm always fascinated about is even something like ChatGPT, which is a very basic AI. It can answer my questions. I'm trying to write I'm tempted to write a book and I've been throwing ideas at it. I just speak into it and then it perfectly emulates what I'm saying. When I press send, it's just by the time my words hit that black screen, it has already analyzed it and starts giving me feedback. It can process things faster than I can physically think them, which is amazing.
Yeah. I think I mean a lot of the things that we're talking about are examples of what we're coming across,
But they're
what
real.
we're reading about, what we're experiencing, and that's on a very small scale compared to what these other people are going through. But I think it's so important that I think in the next year we're going to see some major breakthroughs. 2027 it's going to be the golden era of this stuff. And then we're going to see like by the time it's 2030, we're going to be at that point where people are going to be living in it. Like where we're at with crypto right now is what 2030 is probably going to look like. 2035, we're not going to recognize the world we live in today.
That's if we don't have World War III and we wipe each other all off the face of the planet.
Or an asteroid hits us, yes. But this ideology of people thinking about how we, because like even when we talk about all these other things, like what our parents went through, of jobs or girl like dating, none of that exists anymore. What I don't know what world people think they're living in, but even the
We're
world that
seeing the change.
the world we grew and so this is what I was talking about with my brother. We went on a long walk the other day. Is that most people don't think about this stuff. Why? Because they're working nonstop. They're married. They're with families. They come home. They're not doing this research or whatever.
Or
It's
they just
like
don't care because
they
it's
don't.
like
They don't care. They're so busy. I only work 3 days a week, so it's like I got the time to do. I'm telling you
and
right now.
I'm just constantly in my own head because I care about it. It's something that I'm passionate. It's an interest. It's a hobby. So
Yeah,
it's like he's right. Like right now, whenever we say like we talked about dating, we're like we don't know what's going on. We don't because it's completely different than how we were raised to interact and date. I remember before I met my wife,
not just how we were raised, but how we lived
how
from
the
like
society's changing.
2005 to
Yeah.
2015 is totally different than
Even
2021 to 2025.
morals and women and men, and then there's like even personalities are changing. The whole world is changing so fast. The reason everyone is confused and distasteful of it is because we cannot physically and mentally keep up with the change. It
Yeah.
is at a rate that is changing so fast. It used to be generationally it would change. We're experiencing generational change every
Every,
year or so. It's
it was
like,
like, yeah,
what is
every
happening?
decade, every 5 years. Now we're down to 1 year, and it's like it's going to be even faster. It's like we're not even going to know. But like the point of this podcast though is awareness of,
It's deeper thought. It's like,
yeah, you guys. It's like, yeah, I dropped F bombs a few times. That's for me to wake you up to be like, look, you need to look into this because this is right around the corner. You're going to be jobless. Now I'll tell you who's safe. People that have, when we say blue collar,
that's the new
like
way forward right
like
now.
like blue collar. I mean, those dudes that have figured out how to turn their skilled trade into a business, they're gonna be set. You know, it's like
Manual labor.
my buddy's a power washer. You know who you are, Kobe. He's gonna be set. I mean, and like maybe there'll be some kind of robotics of where he can use or whatever, but he's not gonna lose. We're not at a stage just yet where we're going to see robots climbing ladders and spray painting,
So
spraying
that
down
comes
houses.
into robotics too.
You know,
And
I mean that
robotics is further off.
robotics is further off. We're admitting that that's happening. I mean, but it could catch
We're
us off.
creating the brain of AI. It's gonna
It could catch us off guard. Maybe in 10 years we're not that far off.
having
But like
ninjas,
you
AI
know,
ninjas. You know,
but my brother and I we were talking about like, so what does the world look like? What does that look like for you? Now your kids, now that you spend all this money on college. like
If you
liberal
get in a
arts or
debt,
whatever.
if you have to get in a debt, or maybe you can pay it
Are
off. But
are
it's
you
like,
are people going to college now and they're still knowing they live in this like shadowed world, like that they don't actually need to go to college, but they're still paying for it because that's what they're used to? It's like, why? So my question that for you guys is, what are you gonna send your? I mean, you have a daughter. I don't have to worry about this. I'm kids, so thank God. Um, no offense. No offense. No offense. You guys have kids. I just choose. I don't know if I want to raise kids. It's gonna be so hard to do that. And then, granted, I don't have a girlfriend either. Another less stress on my life. But like, not that that's wrong. You guys are navigating your own ways.
there's this thing that I think about, and it's like, yes, AI is going to take over a lot of things, and a lot of people are going to struggle for all these jobs. But ultimately, AI will make, in theory, life better. In
In
theory,
in theory,
but
life
what's going to
better.
happen
But
is
humans are going to use
we're
to
going to
make it
have to
worse for us,
create a
like we do
new
with everything.
way of making money and a new way of purpose. Because
No, so
I think of like when settlers came, you built a house and you provided for your family and you colonized and you made a place and it was
yeah,
yours and you all shared a community. I think, and then we
community living, yes, but that's what we're talking about. John Ryan is
well, they wanted to make what utopia.
a
AI
utopia.
is going to be
They're gonna
there's
build.
going to be this utopia. We're going to have to find
They're
a new
doing all the
place in our
work.
society.
AI, robots, all this stuff. Unless they
It'd be
completely
nice if it went back into community based.
unless they Terminator style take over in the future. In the beginning, it could be something that's very nice. What happens to humans? UBI. What is UBI? Universal basic income. So what does that mean? Like governments need people, and they're gonna need people in their lives, whether to control or like whatever. But so they're gonna
Humans
give,
need hierarchy. We need order.
you
We
know,
need
it's like there's going to be some level of order in the beginning, I think. um and it's like UBI is universal basic income. So what does that mean? And we were brainstorming 2 days ago about what that looked like. And it's like, maybe we're just all hanging out in a community garden and we're growing vegetables and like
maybe
all
we
these
do get
machines,
back to
but
basics.
we won't
Maybe
be
it
able to
allows us
work.
to.
We won't be able to work. There's not going to be jobs for us. It's
Right.
like
What
it's
I find so interesting, and then we can start to wrap it up. But like, if you think about just humanity as a whole, we have to be busy. We have to have purpose. But I think, especially in America,
got with
we just got so encompassed with work because we let it define us because we don't have much going on else, and it's been programmed in us to work, 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 money, money, money. Success is power, whatever. When AI takes that away, if you are not a man, if you're not polished and you're not open to change, you will die. You will fail. You will not be
you're going to
able
become
to.
depressed.
Yeah.
You're gonna, and it's in the irony of this all. You work your whole life to get all this fun stuff to do, and it's like,
To
but you
watch it be
never
autonomous.
you never end up experiencing that fun stuff. You just keep working to keep it around, and then all of a sudden you're replaced. And now what? And it's like because all you know is work, you're gonna end up losing your mind. And I think it's important to get ahead of like that's why I think it's important for men to have hobbies.
If you just work, like that's your own prerogative. You can do it. I
Yeah,
just personally, I've been fortunate enough to experience life in multitude of ways where I've had the trucks more than I can count, more Harleys than I can count, more guns, more things, more vacations, and none of those they're short entertainment. But if you're not happy with yourself, you will not be happy. And I'm still a work in progress. I'm not saying I'm happy all the time, but I've learned, and I still struggle with consumerism being like, oh, it's going to make me happy. But unless it's something that you can use to get new experiences with that you don't already have, I think you're shooting yourself in the foot. I think like buying one firearm and you already have 10 pistols is like,
that's you though.
it's me. And I'm battling that and I'm realizing that. So it's like I still struggle with it, but
I
instead being like, I'm going to go buy a kayak because my other friend has a kayak and we can go have it explore together
yeah,
and we can appreciate life. Like if you just work and your identity is work, when AI takes over, you're going to be left with literally fucking nothing.
and
You're going to have nothing.
it's gonna wipe out a lot of people because as as much as they don't think they're gonna be affected and they don't see it and they're not gonna see it coming, is they are gonna be affected. And the depression is, I mean, I've been depressed.
I'm
Like
constantly depressed. I'm on
it's
Prozac.
I'm on Prozac. I mean, it's hard. It's like, but what I'm telling you is like when we get out, we go on our walks, we talk about stuff, we try to do activities and stuff. I feel more uplifted. Summer's easier. Winters when it's dark and cold,
Tough.
it is very difficult. That's why I try to travel and get out and do things. But like, it's very knowing what I do know, and that's why they say ignorance is bliss. So I do almost
That's
envy the idiots out there that are probably going to watch this and be like, "Oh, they're bullshit and they're conspiracy there's whatever bull crap."
these
But
guys are whack.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
fucking whack,
is
dude.
I almost appreciate you more because of how stupid you
Oh
are.
my god, I know.
Because the more you know, the more knowledge you attain.
It makes it harder.
It's almost a burden on stuff because it makes me more depressed to know that no matter what I try to learn or skill video wise, and because I'm in the video field industry and the digital marketing, is I'm not going to have a job. So I'm going to build this skill, and that's what I want to do. And I wanted to travel and do this skill. I'm not going to have a job. So what does that mean
They
for
have
me?
these things called emulators on.
And I'm okay to. It's okay for me to know to say that out loud. So
So they have these things because I'm into music, and they have these things. When I was learning how to play the guitar, it was you'd have guitar tabs, like they'd show you how to play music. And then GarageBand came, and that was like a wake up. And then there's these DAWs, direct audio workstation. Basically, you can record into them using an interface, like through your amp or whatever, record vocals, and then mix it on your computer. Now they sell these things where you don't even have to buy equipment. You don't even have to buy an amp. You don't have to buy pedals. It comes in an interface where they've taken all those sounds, had AI mix it, and then now it's like when you like the actor who played Darth Vader died. They still use his voice using AI, using filters.
yeah,
They can use them for video games and movies and all that. Or like Carrie Fisher died in Star Wars. They still used CGI to replicate her and use her voice AI in the movies, so she's still in it. So now with music, you don't even need a guitar anymore. They have taken all that and put it in there, so you could like hum a rhythm and it will make it in guitar. You set the tempo and you can have AI take your voice and make it into songs. In 10 years, you'll be able to go in, which is great, but bad for artists. You'll be able to just be like, I want to make a rap. I want it to say this. Take my samples of my voice. I want it to be upbeat. I want it to be this. And it's going to produce a song. Yes, it'll be the people who are artists, and I think people will be like, "Oh, I'd rather have real humans make this." But we're all cooked. Like it's good and bad.
I think
It's like,
yeah, I
how
think
can I go into a computer right now? There's a guy I follow who took all the sounds of Nirvana. He found all the old equipment they used, the speakers, the guitars, and he makes an in utero pack where he shows him plugging his guitar into his computer. The guitar sounds that he can make are identical. He even has them up next to the real recordings, and you can see pitch and frequency are identical to the in the recording of In Utero by Nirvana. It is amazing. It is like within, I forget, like a quarter of a decibel difference of sound or something. It's like he's emulating the sound perfectly. And then with AI voice recognition and how it can change your voice, it's only a matter of time. Like people like me who can't sing, but I have musical creativity. I could be like, hey, I can't sing, but I'm going to filter it through AI, and it's not.
I
It's
mean they
not.
already have the like the auto tune and
But they're in
whatnot.
they're in
But
apps
like
now. You can just be
yeah,
like, you see them all over Instagram, like the people who hear themselves and are like, oh my god, you know.
but it's not. I think the important thing for this is like it's just not the digital art. It's not like the musical art. It's also like jobs that are lawyers, doctors. They already have.
Anything with
There's
knowledge.
a surgical mechanical company stock that you can buy. I think it's iSurge or something. It's I mean they're worth like $1,000 a share now. It's a thing they create AI robotic arms for doing surgeries. It happens. People are getting surgeries every day. That's only going to grow and become something bigger of an industry. But that literally, what is that doing? That's going to take out surgeons now. And what's the problem with surgeons? Surgeons, a lot of surgeons are alcoholics. So now there's going to be no room for error. They can just get rid of people. They can put robots in to do it. And it's like
Well, even like I was
doctors.
saying,
What is the point of your regular care doctor? They don't really do it. They don't really know
they don't even
anything.
care about
They
you.
just make referrals. So that's going to be replaced. So it's like therapists replaced, paralegals replaced, anything data research learning replaced. You're gone. You don't have a
Even
job.
empathy with therapy is replaced because like again, there's that Claude app that's a therapy based AI, and I looked into it, and it is like amazing. Like the things it says and the way it
Counselors replaced.
empathized. Yeah, I mean,
Even teachers.
Teachers, yeah.
I think teachers. I think it's a we're not as close as these other things,
It'll be like
but
AI teacher, and then if you misbehave, you have other AI just come and take you away. No, I'm kidding.
no. Yeah, but like, yeah, it'll have like China's doing. There's a lot of stock companies that I've looked at investing into that are online educational things. And yeah, is it harder to learn? It's easier to learn in person, but it's cheaper, then to have these school buildings and paying teachers, they're going to eliminate teachers.
And
I
then
mean,
lastly,
you're
I
not going
will
to have a
say,
job.
because we're coming up on the time,
Yeah.
it's a whole other topic, but the AI with implants, the
Oh, well,
surgical
yeah,
implants,
that's another topic.
it's too in depth to mention now, but there's going to be a point. It's almost like the Matrix. It's going to be like, oh, I can upload a language into my Neuralink, for example. Like, I want to learn Korean, or I want to have a heads up in these contact
No,
lenses of
they don't.
translation.
Well, right now, I just was watching. They have
They have a
a
Neuralink.
headset that you can take a headset and earplugs. I can buy this on TikTok. I saw this on TikTok the other day. You can plug the earphones in. You can go sit somewhere. She went and got her nails done, and she listened, and it translates the whatever they were speaking, Korean or Cambodian, to into your earpiece,
They have that in
telling you,
sunglasses
and they
too.
have that in glasses too. So it's like that's like early stages. Now
The
we're
Neuralink
the
thing is going to
Neuralink is
be,
going to be different, and Neuralink is a company, so it's like,
yeah, it's going to be like, oh, I want to learn Korean. Okay, well, pay our subscription of whatever, and you can retain the language.
yeah.
And you put it in, and it's because everything is
Or you don't even need
monetized.
to retain it. It'll probably just be like something
I
that
think it's all going
that
to be
when you
monetized.
hear it, just the machine in your head just
Yeah, it's a
translates it.
process. It's a
It's like
processor because
processor.
you're processing in your brain. It's not your brain learning. It's a processor
Now
allowing you to
people are
recognize.
now Chris, and yeah, and then we can get into another other chat. Is like, do we believe the end times are upon us and whatnot? Because at that level, now we're basically creating some kind of God level thing. And if you believe in God, then it's like, wouldn't God come back at the
I
thing?
still think if
But
God is a real thing that like you consider, like I think that there's something out there that we don't understand. I have a hard time saying God specifically because if I'm wrong and that's not how that entity wants to be referred to, it's like a slap in the face. I don't know. I don't know enough about. I'm just a human being. I don't know anything.
you just told me about being lukewarm. You got to choose a direction earlier.
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah.
So I
But
get it though. It's
I
like
believe it's.
it's.
I think it's just like I believe in something. I would love to believe in a one true God and that humanity just breaks it up in different religions, but it's all really the same thing. I just think we as humans, there's a lot of us, and
I
there's
think
been a
the
lot of time, but it's
yeah.
hard. Like the reason I haven't, like
Well,
you've
I think
given me
people
that
get mad at
Bible.
Christianity and it's all this stuff, and it's like, well, humans. You got to realize that humans want
We like to
power.
meddle with shit.
They Humans have been about power, greed, money,
Status,
status,
legacy.
legacy. They've been obsessed with that. And so you take something pure like what Christianity would stand for and you put humans into it, and then it ruins 2,000 years of history for that, or Buddhists or Muslims or whatever the religion is. But it's like, obviously I only believe in one religion, but and all of that supersedes the other ones, because that's what religion is. But
I believe there's something, but I think it's like the
that means
universe is
you're
more of a
agnostic. You believe in something
there's a
out there.
there's like a tangible.
So this is kind of where AI is heading for UBI people. Now these people that didn't have the time to think about this, you're going to be doing what Jake and I do on a regular basis. It's like it's more
Ponder.
philosophy, pondering, trying to get outside and do things. Now you're going to have the time to do it. So it's like, unless we're all just going to be slaves to technology, I mean, locked
We're all gonna be
away.
their batteries, like in the
But
Matrix.
But yeah, so the reason why we want to talk to you about is because for men out there that are especially like that are leaders in their families, I think this is something that you should be not caught off guard about, and you should try to prepare yourself for it. Obviously, don't just quit your job and whatnot, but like figure out how you can get ahead of it and roll with the punches. Maybe we can coast till we're like 60 and we'll have enough setups that we don't have to worry about it. It's like, but if it happens in the next 5 years and you're 35, you still got another 25 years to figure out what you're going to do to,
We don't want
for
to
a
be the
living.
old people when all of a sudden AI explodes and we're just stuck. And
Yeah.
also, I'll say this:
We're in a
like
very weird
the
spot.
world. Again, I hate to be a doom and gloomer, but like you look at least the United States, but pretty much the world is here. I feel like we're so close to so many end of the world, life changing times, like war, and like the whole infrastructure is failing because it's been in place for so long, and even government is failing, and like basic human needs are not attainable. It was a 2.5-year wait for me just to see a PCP, primary care doctor. Okay, that's insane, right? In a first world country, they say, hey, it's a 2.5-year wait for you. I finally got one, and it's in August, just to get checked for a yearly physical.
That's gonna be gone. So like we're gonna be able to just literally.
It's all nonsense. But my point is
get
that
blood
whole
drawn
archaic
and
system
research.
is going down the tubes.
Yeah,
And it's going down alarmingly fast. And I think it's going down so fast is that humanity is seeing it, and we're like, part of my language, but what the fuck is going on? Because it's happening so fast, and things are dysregulating and becoming more like the Wild West because of AI and all these advancements. I think our brains, as humans, we try to set these things up in place, like we pay taxes because of this.
We try
and
to put
our education system is this.
categories and labels. That's what as humans we need for structure.
And it's just disintegrating. It's just melting into
AI is just basically going to be like this. We have compartments. That's the way humans are. AI is just going to be literally, and everything's into it. And we're only running around with our heads chopped off.
I think on the next podcast, I want to talk about why when dudes go to jail, that women write them.
That's such a random. I don't even know. All right, we can definitely talk about that.
We don't need to.
We can't.
I just randomly thought about Ted Bundy when he went to jail, and that women were like, "I'll have sex with you," and this is dude.
They love true crime.
Smashing their faces in with rocks and shit, and they're like, "I love you."
I know,
because y'all are insane. But they're like, "We don't know why we are the way we are." We don't either.
It's like so. It's gonna. I feel like we're gonna see way more of that crap in the next 5 years, anyway. So, anyway, but this podcast was all about AI introduction. We're definitely going to talk more about this in the future because it's huge, especially as it grows.
It is the future.
Yeah, more about the future of the future.
You're stupid.
Yeah, I
can't emphasize that enough. How stupid you fucking are.
It makes me so mad how dumb you are, but you are dumb. Sorry, it's true. It's just, it makes, but it also at the same time, I feel bad for you, and then compiled on top of that. I can't wait till that tidal wave comes and you don't even see it coming.
Shit, there are people who still think the Earth is flat.
Yeah, well, it is flat. Oh, I'm kidding. Anyway,
you're in for a rude awakening.
So
the government, man, they want you to think it's flat. They want you to think it's round, but it's flat.
So
you fall off the edge, bro.
Dude, why are you all up in my stuff right now, man? Like you're literally
in my. Because he knows we're recording. And he just tries to be as destructive as possible. Yeah. The whole time, I'm sure my mic's picked it up. He's been chewing on a bone on the metal table.
Yeah, I know. That's like I just hear. I'm like staring at him while you're talking. It's like dong dong dong. My ADD. I hear what you're saying. Anyway, so this is the Odyssey of Man. I'm PBM. This is Jake, and Jake can speak for himself. Say you're Jake.
Won't.
All right, he won't do it, but we'll do it next time. No, but. And our next podcast, I think, is going to be. We'll bring that up. I actually don't know what it's going to be.
Why are you licking his knee? I have ADD. I cannot stop.
Yeah, I don't know. But also, I do want to. We're going to probably get into a quick 20-minute video next, just about a challenge, because I think the whole reason we started this was a challenge and stuff. So we should probably talk about a challenge since we haven't done that in a bit away. So that'll be 3 videos a day. I'll be wearing the same shirt. I'm not going to change it.
I'm going to change.
He might change his. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So when I go to reference these videos to upload them in a syncretic order, I know which ones are which without having to listen to myself.
My drink changes every time, so there's that.
I'm going to get another one.
But anyway, peace out.
Later.
Have a good day.
Watson's like, where are we going?